Hello, welcome. You're watching Simply Bewitching Crafts. I'm just doing a quick video on how to make a gingerbread person that can sit up, or you can put a little hook in the top with some super glue and then hang it to your tree. You can use it on your tier tray. I started off by conditioning the clay, which is just moving the air and the moisture around so that it's all evenly distributed throughout. It'll help prevent cracking and bubbles. Then you see me just smoothing out a ball for the body. Takes a little bit to get it smooth. You can take as long as you want and get it perfectly smooth. Or because it's a gingerbread, it doesn't need to be perfectly smooth. In fact, some people take little toothbrushes and tools and they mark it up on purpose to make it more cookie-like. I'm just smoothing it out here. The body is obviously going to be bigger than the head. So once the body's done, I take another smaller piece and do the exact same thing. Roll it out, smooth it as much as you can. Make sure you get the cracks out. If you need a little help, you can always dip your finger in water. That'll smooth anything out. It gets it really nice and smooth, no crackles, no bumps, no nothing. Again, it's a gingerbread here. We don't care if it's perfectly smooth. And then once your head is where you like it, just place it on top. It should stick fine, but if you're worried, you can always add a small piece of a toothpick or some super glue. The good thing about this foam clay is it sticks to itself and it stays pretty well. If it ever does fall, it usually bounces. If it comes up and an arm or a leg came off, you can take one drop of super glue and pop that little thing right back where it came from, and you're as good as new. I'm taking 4 pieces here, 2 smaller, 2 bigger. The 2 bigger ones are going to become legs and the 2 smaller ones are going to become arms. Again, I'm just kind of smoothing it out, rolling it out, trying to make sure my sizes fit. I decided that the arms I'd chosen, the balls that I'd chosen for the arms were too big, so I split the one. And I'm just laying them out so you can kind of see the size difference for the arms versus the legs there. The legs are a good bit thicker than the arms are. All right, one of them was a little bit small, so I smashed it around and added a little bit more, rolled it back into a ball. Now we're just going to take and shape it into the body part that we're working on, starting with the legs. I love making the legs. When you roll it out into a little roll, you're going to make the top part thicker because the thigh is going to be thicker than the bottom. And then you just take your finger and you gently make a groove and you kind of form a little foot. There are tools, you guys, that you can buy, but I'm trying to show you how to do this if this is your first time and you have no tools, and to show you how easily you can still make something that's really cute to put in your tier tray, or again, put a little hook into it, and you can just super glue it in and then hang it on your tree. Or you can pop a stick in the bottom and put it in a flower vase or something like that. So I'll stop talking a minute here. I'm just repeating what I've done for the other side, and then we'll move on to the arms. Okay, we've moved on to making the arm. Similar, you're just going to roll it out into this little shape. And then I like to smash the hand down a little bit wider. A lot of times I'll add things to the hands, little presents or candy canes, lollipops, something cute. So we just kind of push that out. You can always add little toes or paws, whatever. You can always add a little line there with a knife. So just letting you know, we didn't do it on here, but easily done. Just gently press things. Okay, I want to add some white icing around it before I pop it on. I find it easier to add the icing to it before I attach it. So here you see me just reaching over and grabbing some white clay out. That clay can be hard to open, so I was struggling a little bit there, but eventually I got it open. Those little things that keep it closed, they're very tight, which is a great thing because this is air dry and we certainly don't want that big bag of clay to dry out and waste on us. Not at $11 a bag, right? All right. And that's a great price. I mean, they go up to like $20 a bag, y'all. So don't let your clay go dry. Again, I condition the clay. You always need to make sure you take time to condition your clay. Again, it just prevents cracking. It helps it get the air and the moisture distributed evenly throughout. You're going to roll it really thin because we're pretending this is the piping, the icing. So just got to work it till you get it where you want it. It's hard sometimes, you guys, getting that thin enough. It can take a good hot minute, but you'll get there. You really shouldn't pull it like I did there. You should take some scissors and snip the ends. Stretches it out when you pull it, but sometimes I just get a little bit lazy. Okay. I think I stopped and put a little oil on my hands. Sometimes if it gets sticky, keep some baby oil nearby and you can just put a little on your hands. For some reason, this bag of white clay I found was much more dry and sticky than they normally are. And so it does take a little bit more to get it to stop sticking. All right, that should be about where I want it. I should be stopping in a second here. I went too thin there, so I just broke it off. It's long enough to do one little arm here. I should have really cut that little bottom piece off, but you're not going to see the underneath of this arm, so I just went ahead and went with it. And you can go slower than what I did and get a better piping job. I knew you guys didn't want to wait forever to watch this video, so just kind of speeding things up and going with it. It's still really cute. The one thing I will tell you is once that hits the clay, it sticks. So you're not going to get it back off. So you do want to kind of hold it up slightly as you're making your little curves. Okay, then I was just pushing it down on the arm, and here we just repeat the process. I think I went a little bit low on this arm. I should have gone up a little bit higher with it, but it's cute any way it goes. And again, it's gingerbread. When you're icing gingerbread, you're going to make the same kinds of mistakes, and it still comes out looking really cute. All right, we got the arms iced. Got to, give it a little bit of a push gently, just to make sure it's sticking on there. Went ahead and got the legs. Remember, it's not about perfection because the imperfections when you're making a little gingerbread are natural. They happen in the real thing. I like mine to look very natural and realistic. Some people go all out, and you certainly can just go really slow, make everything as perfect as you want it to look. You can take these afterwards outside and spray them with a gloss spray. That will Give it a shine, it will finish it off. It will make it look more like polymer clay, but it's still incredibly lightweight. I can't tell you, like a penny. It probably doesn't weigh a penny. You know, the same weight as a penny. That sounded weird. It doesn't weigh a penny. You know, when you're doing these things, you say the silliest stuff. Went a little bit out of frame there. Sorry about that, but we're just adding the same way. Looping it around, and again, I went too low. For some reason, whenever I do that side, I'm kind of missing the target, but I don't mind. That's not something that bothers me. And again, this is just to show you guys how to do this. Again, take your time, make it as perfect or imperfect as you want. Just go with it. And I got some on the side there, so I was just trying to clean it off and make it better. I had to pinch it down. When you pinch it down, it's not a problem. Again, if it doesn't smooth easily, this was pretty wet clay, so not a problem. You can stick your finger in water and you'd be able to smooth that. It's also right underneath an arm, so you're never going to see it. Now you could place these arms poking straight out to hold a gift. You can make them down at the body. Just make it however you want it to go. She was leaning back a little far, so I pulled her forward. And you can see it's slightly squished there. That's okay. The arm's going to cover it. And then I tried to pull this one in a little more to the tummy. Y'all, I'm not used to having any fingernail, and I've been getting them done. My daughter does fingernails for a living. She professionally does natural nails. And she's been doing my nails for me, and they're growing out really nicely, and I keep having to go back and have her trim them. Because when you're working with foam clay, those little things can get in your way. They are poking my clay and making little marks, and then you have to go back in and try to smooth the marks. It's annoying. But I do like having a little bit more, you know, a little bit prettier nail. So here I'm just rolling it out again. We're going to add some around the head. Same thing, roll it out to where you want it. Take your time, make it as smooth as you want. My piping icing's never perfect, so I'm not worrying about making my my clay fake icing perfect. Soon I'll show you guys how to actually pipe it, and that's a whole nother way to ice things. So that'll be another video. My next video is going to do, I'm going to do a quick a quick gingerbread person that's just flat, cut out with a cookie cutter. That will be another kit that I offer for just a little bit less money. And these are just little kits that you or your children can play with, and you can actually experiment with the foam clay and decide whether you really like working with it, and not spend a bomb load, you know. It's a lot when you have to buy the full bag, and then you have to have all the different colors. You can buy white and you can paint the white, or you can actually mix a little bit of white into, or a little bit of color into the white, but that is a whole lot more than just buying a kit and having, you know, the colors in the kit that you're going to need. And I add little special things into it that you'll get, you know, little additives that we'll put into it to help create a more unique piece as well. Again, if that touches the clay, it's going to lay and you're not going to move it too easily. So you got to keep trying to keep it upward to get your little loops where you want them. But if it touches, go with it. Again, icing, if icing touches, it's kind of the same. It's going to stick. It's going to go where it goes, and you're not going to move it. So those imperfections are just realistic. It's not something you need to stress over. If you need it to be perfect, do the icing before you put the head on, or at least that's how I feel about it. Again, I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to this. I like to get going with it. I like it to be cute. I like it to be whimsical and, you know, a little bit kid-like, natural, fun. And so my work is usually pretty quick and still beautiful. All right, so we're just pushing that in a little bit, and now you are iced up, guys. We're ready to put a little bit of those details to make it a special, one-of-a-kind ginger person. You could now add a bow tie and turn this into a gingerbread man. You could add a hat, any kind. You could put a top hat on there. You could make a chef hat and add rolling pins, or have her hold a plate full of cookies, or even just a lollipop or a cookie. I am going to make a little tiny dress to put on her. Super quick, super simple little thing. Just going to grab some red clay. This clay is coming out of a lunch baggie, just so you know. That means it was pre-conditioned, so I wasn't worried about conditioning very long here. I do always give it just that, quick pull to make sure it still feels moist. And anything that doesn't feel right, I just pulled out like that. You can see me grabbing a couple of pieces and pulling them out, and that was just because it didn't feel like it had contained the moisture that I wanted it to have. It's kind of important that it's going to stick because, it's going to be on the body. Roll your little ball out, smash it down, and then you just very gently shape it the way you want it to look when you put it on her. I ended up shaping this 2 or 3 times to get it to actually fit. And I thought about speeding up here so that this was shorter, but I also kind of wanted you guys to have the time in real time, because a lot of times when you see it sped up, you feel like you should move quicker. And besides the fact I've done this several times, you guys, it doesn't go in a 10-second or 1-minute video. It is going to take you longer to actually make these, so you need to have the time you need to actually get it there. So that's why I didn't speed up on this one. I wanted this to be a good, simple, easy to follow tutorial on how you can make things without really having any special tools. Because again, I'm going to be selling these as kits, and I know if you're trying this out as a kit, you may not have any tools. We're just kind of squaring the edges of that up by pushing it down. That's all I'm doing. We're going to make a little pocket out of it and add that onto her little dress, so it's like a little apron dress. And these are fun and easy ways to add character to your ginger person. Squaring my corner up, and there you go. We have created a pocket. I'm going to take a teeny tiny kid's play knife. You could use the point of any cutting knife you have, and I just go around it and tap little stitch lines in so that it sticks around the edges and it looks like a pocket sewn onto the clay. I must have run off to find my little plastic knife. that was a little bit of a minute there, wasn't it? So you're just going to make quick little stitch marks. Again, you've got little paring knives. Take the little point of a paring knife. I just keep this one around. If you have something and it's sticking, again, anytime you have a tool that's sticking, add a little baby oil. If you don't have baby oil, you can add olive oil or any oil you have. The only issue I have with adding other oils is sometimes they have a little bit of a tint, and that tint can really show up on white clay. You will never see it on any of the colored clay, but on the white it will occasionally show up. I'm trying to lift up the pocket before it gets squished down because I wanted it to be able to hold cute little things. I thought this was going to be the right size, and when I went to put it on my ginger person, I could see that was just going to be too big. So I went in with a knife and I cut down the top red part. And I went ahead and cut it pretty short, shorter than I needed it, because it was also thick. So that meant I could take what I have and shape and squish it out where it would be a little flatter. And yeah, you see me cut the ends there so it'll go in a little bit more. The good part about this foam clay is how easy it is to reshape what you already have and make it where you want it. It was also a little wide, so I cut some away. Little tall, little wide. It was sticking a little bit, so use the knife. You can get a spatula if it sticks too much and lift it with a spatula as well, or take a thin paring knife and run that under it. All right, there's her little apron. Push those hands up where you want them now. Now I just want to make a little bit of a tie for her. Got to clean up all the red clay before you roll out the white clay. Sometimes you have to actually grab a cloth with some oil and go over the whole thing. If it's something that's really important that it stays white, when you're working with white, you really do have to keep your surface clean. So we just stick that on, wrap it around the neck. Now I wanted to make a bow in the back, so I just cut this off and I left it kind of hanging up at the top. I didn't let it lay down flat because I wanted it to poke out a little. And then I squished it with my fingers by accident and I had to roll it out again. Sticking it back on this side. You could also do this underneath the apron and then add a little button. I've done that and it's super cute. But this guy's so tiny, I was just hesitant. Now I just crossed that little piece over and I'm just cutting off a little piece of that where it's flat and I'm getting it right where I want it. I'll turn it around and show you how to make the bow. Bows are super simple if you're just making a little, simple bow tie, like a tie for a shoe. Try to keep that loop open. It's sticky stuff again, you guys. So it can be difficult to keep that loop open. Once it closes, you're going to re-roll it and start over. You just pop that right where you crossed over. Voila, one tiny bow, so it looks like she tied her apron. And you can take tools and shape that bow any way you want. I'm taking this little plastic knife. Again, you can take the point of your paring knives, anything you have that will make a little hole, a little smile, and just poke it in and then pull down slightly to open the mouth of your gingerbread person. Very simple way to make a mouth. Then I'm going to take a little tiny piece of red clay and make the little nose. Now you guys, I'm trying to stick more towards the reds and greens for my Christmas tree, so a lot of my stuff's in red and green. If you like pastels, go with it. Take your light pinks, blues, yellows, make your little Candyland theme pastel. That seems to be the rage this year. I've never been big on pastels. I think they're very pretty. But at Christmas, one year I did this whole theme of blue Christmas, and I felt kind of blue that year, to tell you the truth. I need that red and green, gold and silver and sparkle. It cheers me up, so I just like to stick with what I know I like, but we're all different. These are just how-tos. I just want you to take your idea and create what you think is perfect for your tree or your tiered tray. Making tiny little eyeballs here. You saw me take a little teeny tiny piece of that worm and cut it in half. That usually gets your eyes in a really close to perfect shape, but didn't work quite as well this time. I recall one of them being a little smaller and doing it again. Hard to get tiny, perfect sized balls. It is a lot of work, and my hands had oil on it, so that made it even harder. It just wasn't wanting to ball up on me. It kept flattening when I'd try to touch it. Now I laid them down and whew, that one's much smaller. My brain said, no. You know, I should have gone with it because I won't lie to you. Anybody who's watching me knows that one of my eyes is smaller than the other. Drove me crazy when I was a teenager, and occasionally people would tell me, one of your eyes is bigger than the other. And it's like, that's very helpful when you're young. Don't point out the flaws of a youthful person. Don't point out the flaws of anybody, y'all. All right, I think this eyeball came out a little bit closer to the same size. So we're gonna go with the first and the third eyeball. And I do use a tool here. If you don't have something that'll poke a little hole in and then come back out, you may want to get a little drop of super glue or even tacky glue, something to hold the eyeballs on, because when they sit on top of the clay, they tend to fall off if it drops. So I make my holes inside, and these are a little tool that you can buy off of Amazon. You can probably buy them anywhere. You can probably even get these in the Dollar Tree. Super easy. Cricut probably has tools that are similar. Make that hole a little bigger, grab the eyeball up, and poke it in. Look at that. A little tiny face made. Our ginger person's nearly done. I like to put a hat or a bow or something on the top of your ginger person. That's me. You could leave it as is. I like to make all kinds of different tops because it gives each ginger person their personality. This is a simple bow, y'all. You can buy molds from Temu for like less than $2 and get a bow mold and make a perfect mold. But if you don't have one and you really want to make a bow to put on, and this is the same idea for a bow tie. For a bow tie, it's a little easier because it's going to be flat, and this one's not going to be flat. But we're just rolling out our little, I call them a snake, some people call them a worm, and then you flatten it out a little bit. This is a thicker bow, okay? A little bit thicker stand-up bow for the head. There's a lot of different ways to make bows. But I just wanted to show you that you don't have to have the molds to make a little bow for your ginger person. Same idea as making the bow in the back. You want to keep your loop open and just press it over to the center. All right. And then you want to keep those, and I did have trouble keeping this open because it's thicker, so you got to keep pressing down on it. But we are going to smash this and make it into more of a shape for the bow than I worried about when I was making the one for the back, because that's just like a shoestring bow. But this is a pretty decorative bow for her head, and it needs to have a little more glamour. Looking back at it now, I probably should have taken and put a little bit of glitter or something on it, but y'all, you can add glitter afterwards. All you got to do is take a little Mod Podge or clear glue water, and then paint over it and add your glitter. Mind you, once it's on her, if you try and add glitter to it, you guys, it's going to more than likely get in places that you weren't wanting the glitter. So you got to keep that in mind. You could probably get some glitter glue and paint the top of it or the sides of it with that glitter glue and give it a little more shine and sparkle that way. Again, I'm using my little tool that you can get probably Dollar Tree, Walmart, Amazon, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, anywhere they have them. They come in bags with loads of them in them. They are fabulous tools. This one's missing the back, the top off of that silver part. It would be silicone, also doesn't stick to your clay, and is very good for pushing in creases or gently smoothing out creases. It's a fabulous tool. All right, we're just trying to add a little shape into this. I'll come back later and do a quick video with a hat just to show you if you wanted to add a hat, some simple hats for your gingerbread boys. And again, you would just make a little bow tie and add 3 buttons. If you made a little boy, it would be super simple, quick, and cute. Trying to make that look more bowish. Oops. How cute is that, you guys? So cute. For the center right there, you could totally take one of those teeny tiny peppermint candies that you see in the shops for decorations. They're really small. You could add that right to the center of that bow, and that would have been a cute addition too. Then I decide she needs some little strings hanging out the end, just a little more decoration. So you roll it out again. Try to get your pieces even. Now you don't have to do this. You could do the dovetail. You could do it to the side. You could do it straight. Whatever you want the bottom of your little girl's bow to look like. Just cut that bottom how you want it. Remember, this clay sticks to itself, and those points are going to want to try to roll over and grab clay. And if they do, let them. Don't worry about it. Made a couple little lines in it. Whatever you think makes it look more realistic, right? I feel like it's a Raggedy Ann bow. That's what I was thinking when I made it. Do y'all remember Raggedy Ann's bow? I loved Raggedy Ann when I was a kid. I think it's really funny when I think back to when I was a little kid. I loved Raggedy Ann, and nowadays they're all watching that Freddy, I don't know, whatever it's called, scary, spooky creatures that go around eating people. I'm like, oh, what's to become of the next generation? All right. She has her little bow. Hey, you guys, later on, I didn't do it on camera, but later on I went ahead and made a couple of little white poofy ear pods, not ear pods, to keep her ears warm. And I added those on too, and they looked really cute. Just, I don't know. I can't ever stop playing with them. I'm always adding something. I'm just gonna add a little extra detail, and I went ahead and used my super glue from the Dollar Tree. Oh, I didn't. I take it back. I was about to put a hook in that to show you guys how easy it is to just take a jewelry hook. Just one of those ones that screws into it. And then I changed my mind and decided that we needed a candy cane for her. And then I forgot to come back and show you guys, if you want to do a hook in the top after it's dry, you're just going to take one of those jewelry hooks that screw down and have the little loop, and you can just sort of push it into the top of your clay, and then come back and pull it back out, put a drop of the super glue on it, and push it back in and hold it for a couple of seconds. It will stay, and then you can put ribbon through it, or that, the red and white baker's twine, or whatever you want to use to hang yours with. But I decided to show you guys making a candy cane. This is a tiny little candy cane, sort of similar idea for bigger. You might use a little more colors, or a little, a few more rolls, but this is a teeny tiny one. I just wanted to make a quick one to put into the pocket of our gingerbread girl, because, we made pockets. We need to put something in there, right? Try and get them similar in size. I did not worry too much about the perfection of mine. Some people do. I don't. It's a super little cute thing. It's easy. It should be quick. It should be painless. It's hard to work with skinny rolls, so I'm not gonna spend too much time. And I just twisted it, give it a candy cane appearance. Easy peasy. Cut off your short flat end if you want. So your pieces are more candy cane shape, right? And you twist it as much as you want. Roll it over. Now, honestly, I did stick this one in wet, and to stick it in wet, I had to cut off the bottom to make it short because it's not going to go. Wet clay doesn't go into wet clay. It sticks. So to be fair, I would have painted this with some half clear glue, half water, and let it sit by itself and dry, and then it would have slid in and out once the pocket was all dry. But just so you guys got to see it, I went ahead and designed and created it now quicker so that you could see it. My brain was like, maybe I can get it in there, maybe I can. There's no way. It's just going to stick out too far. So I went ahead and cut it short. Like I said, you won't need to do this if you let everything dry first. But, you know, it doesn't really matter because nobody knows that it's in there and cut off. Just looks like it's a big stick cut into her pocket. Because of the wet clay, I keep pulling it open a little more because I want it to stick down further. I probably should have done this and come back later, but you get the idea. Stick it in the pocket, and there you go. Now her pocket has a little more purpose. You could also, I could have wrapped this in some clear wrap and then stuck it in there as well. Made it look like an unopened candy cane. That might have been a better idea. Also, you guys, again, you can do that glue wash and glitter. Give it more candy look. All right. I don't know why I cut that off. I probably squished it when I was putting it in. Remember, soft clay, super easy to squish. But here's your time frame, you guys. This is a real, it's in real time. Nothing shortened, nothing sped up. You guys can fast forward where you want to fast forward, slow down where you need to slow down. I wanted you to have that opportunity to see how long it takes to really design it. Another cute little bow, super simple. Didn't take much time with this one because I really didn't care. It was just going on a candy cane to add a little extra color. I felt like it needed something besides the red and white. Now I'll probably take this and speed it up into a quick reel to throw on for Facebook's Reels. But, you know, like I said, you'll have the option. You can watch it in fast, but sometimes those fast ones, you know, it's great that you get an idea from them. But if you're actually trying to figure out how to make something, and foam clay is new. A lot of people haven't touched this. And it's a much more unique thing to work with than any of the other clays because of its tendency to grab and stretch and pull. And so, you know, I wanted the opportunity for you to go as fast as you want or as slow as you might need. All right, that should be our little snow person, trying to make sure her candy cane doesn't lay down and stick to her body because we want it separate. We want it to look part of the pocket slide. There we go. Oh yeah, I remember having a little bit of trouble getting the curve right. This didn't work either. It was too wide that way. So we get there in the end. You just have to play with things. Pull the pocket open more. You guys, another tip for you while I'm finishing up there. You can speed up, or speed up. I don't know why I said that because I want to speed up right now. You can take lunch baggies and leave them. They make those really tiny ones, snack-sized ones. And you can take your little pieces of clay like this and just go ahead and put them inside the baggie when they're like these little red ones, green ones sitting there. That way they won't dry out on you. I just made some cute little balls to add to the center of her headband for more color and decor. I actually regret doing that. I didn't like it when I was done, but once I've done it, I've done it. So that's what I was doing there. I thought it was fine the way it was. I should have left it, but you get an idea in your head and you're just like, oh, I want to try it. I just want to try it. But I regretted it because it didn't turn out quite the way I was expecting it to. Christmas time, Christmas balls, Christmas joy, Christmas fun. I think I should have just grabbed one of the little peppermint candies that are pre-made and put that in it. And that's what I was thinking when I made this, but of course it just didn't turn out right. Still a cute little additive, no worries. Again, these things are just cute, right? They're not something to stress over. A little bit of inexpensive fun and creative opportunity. My tree this year will be all handmade. Gingerbread houses, gingerbread men. I'm just going to work on the gingerbread theme. I'm sure I'll put some other stuff in it, but a lot of the handmade gingerbread because we're going to go gingerbread theme. Hey, I'm still trying to figure out what to put on the top of my gingerbread theme. Last year we did a snowman that I just bought at Walmart, but this year I'm not quite sure what we're going to do. And there she is.